Good morning, everybody. It's me again, Baron Bananas, as always. Sorry, just gonna mess with my camera a tad bit. Ah, that's not bad. Okay. Okay. So I hope everyone's morning is going well so far. Obviously, today we are back with Katawa Shoujo. It's been a few days since we went to this when the stream was just interrupted due to internet being fixed. I mean, it was honestly the perfect spot for that to even happen too. Right at the end of that scene into the next one. Like that was the perfect place to stop. So, someone up there is looking out for me. So, in the meantime, what had happened when we last played through? We started on Act 3 of Shizune's route, and the summer break is started. So, we more or less invite ourselves to Shizune's place during that break, because she and Misha were going anyway, and, well, initially she said, yeah, you wouldn't want to come. But we said, no, we're gonna come. But Shizune's just like, yeah, okay, cool. I would have been disappointed if you said you didn't want to come. So we get there, after a long train ride, long-ish, and, who's there but Lily and her sister, along with Shizune's little brother, Hideaki. While he doesn't have as much of a reaction to it as he did in the Lily route, it's where we kind of find out they're actually related. That's at this point in this route we find out Lily and Shizune are cousins. So they obviously were staying at their uncle's place before they go to Scotland forever. They don't really say they're going to Scotland forever, but that's what they're doing. They're going to Scotland. Lily is leaving. So they were just staying at the Hakamichis for a short while. So we decided to go fishing with everyone after, I think someone made a comment about fishing and Lily saying she could cook a good fish. Of course, Shizune tried to turn it into a competition. Well, a competition everyone kind of forgot about because they got too into the actual act of fishing and having fun. Which is great. The next day, we ended up waking up late, and it was Hideaki's job to keep us entertained. He didn't do too well of a job. We were incredibly bored even after going to the park. Mostly because he's just a very boring person. Then again, so was Asao. His idea of entertainment was to try to teach him a sign language. Which brings up a very good point. Why does Shizune's family not know sign language when she needs it to communicate with people properly? Well, we're gonna get into that. 'Cause now it's the very next day. So we'll load up our save. And oh boy, I hope everyone's ready for this. I know I'm not. Despite having only been here for 2 days, it feels like it's been much longer. I wake up feeling more tired than refreshed. Maybe because I've been moving around almost constantly since I got here. Whatever the reason, it's making me get up unusually late each day. I feel like sleeping in, but it would be inconvenient if this ends up becoming a habit. I can hear a deep male voice shouting loudly in the background. It must be Shizune's dad. Or maybe, with the size of this place, it's creditors. More likely the former, since the yelling doesn't seem angry, just loud. This fucking guy. Oh, God, what? Oh, this motherfucker, and he's got a fucking sword. This fucking anime son of a bitch just walks in. It's like, what the fuck is this? Seriously. Shizune, Misha, and Hideaki are sitting in the living room, having a one-sided conversation with a giant bear man who alternates between shoveling food away from a plate balanced on his leg and twirling a sword. What the fuck are you? Oh, for fuck's sakes. Fucking goddammit. From what Shizune and Hideaki are like, I'd expected their dad to be a very reserved, clean-cut, possibly androgynous person, so I'm pretty surprised. I'm surprised for a while, until he starts talking to me. Oh, god damn it, now I gotta come up with a fucking voice for this guy. Music's too loud in my ear, so it's throwing off how loud I think I should be.
Hello. You must be Shizune's other friend. Did you have a good night's rest? The guest rooms are a bit sparse. If there's anything you need, feel free to tell me.
Thanks. You must be Shizune's father. It's nice to meet you. I'm Shizune's classmate, Hisao Nakai.
The pleasure is mine. I've wanted to meet you after hearing I would have a second guest in my house. Unexpected. You hear something like that, and obviously you want to see what that person is like. Would you like my business card?
He holds up a case full of them for a second, and I can see that his name is Jigoro, and his office hours are from 8 to 6. They also say that he's a consultant. What a prepared guy, carrying his card case around in his own home.
We're just sitting down to a slightly late lunch. You're just in time to join us. Good. Pick a place to sit down and I'll bring you a plate. I hope you don't mind eating bear liver.
Thought that bear liver was toxic. Either way, the thought of eating a bear liver doesn't appeal to me, other than for the ability to tell people I've eaten bear liver. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to try. But Shizune's dad merely laughs.
I'm just making a joke. Although, it wouldn't be such a bad idea to cook up some bear livers for you kids. They will make you strong. We're actually having omelets. I'll make you one right now. Is that unusual for you, having an omelet for lunch?
Very unusual. No, not at all. Jigoro vanishes to where the kitchen must be. I'm surprised that despite living in this place, he has to cook my lunch. Maybe he only cooks because he likes to. My steaming plate of food is done in a very short time. It smells really good.
Are you in the student council like Shizune? Is the student council that busy that Shizune has to drag her friends along with her everywhere she goes?
Sometimes a vacation is just a vacation. You're right about the student council part. I think we're just here for fun, though.
I see. Is that right? When I was young, our student councils had so much work that I don't think they could have afforded going on vacation. It must be nice, having so much free time. Should give you plenty of time to think about your future.
I don't like the direction this discussion's taking and start thinking of how to avoid it.
Have you thought about that? About what you want to do?
No, I haven't given it much thought recently. What do you do, if you don't mind me asking? Must be something pretty cool if we get you a house like this.
Why do you want to know that? Children aren't interested in business. What business of yours is my business? Suspicious. Are you some kind of taxman, boy?
I guess he really does not like being asked questions.
He-chan isn't a tax collector's boy, I think. He-chan, what do your parents do? You never told us.
You, be quiet. Don't interrupt me. I hate being interrupted. Rude.
Shizune doesn't look too happy with this turn of events. Even with Misha unable to assign to her what's going on, she can read the mood easily. Her glare becomes more smoldering as Jigoro continues to rant.
One more thing. My fishing equipment. I came home and it was in a big pile in the corner. Rods just stacked haphazardly on top of tackle.
That was me. I can't remember if it was actually him. If it wasn't, I appreciate he's willing to take one for the team. It doesn't matter because Jigoro ignores him without skipping a beat.
Well, anyway, I'm glad my fishing equipment could provide so much entertainment for my daughter's friends. Did not even tell me you're going to be using them. Those are expensive custom-made poles, not for dilettantes.
I suddenly become aware of the eggshell fragments in my omelet. Is he just a bad cook? Does he eat them for the calcium? Were they purposefully added there to give me even more discomfort? Though confused, I'm not as unnerved as I think I would normally be. And again, my life has been pretty strange lately, and I keep running into all sorts of different people. Nothing surprises me anymore.
Didn't even properly clean them after use. Terrible. Do you even know how to fish? Unlikely. There are not enough poles here for all of you. How does that work? Did you all share? One person baits the hook, and another casts? 2 people to reel? Incompetent.
Well, 6 of us went, so we couldn't all do it at the same time. First it was just me, Akira, Hideaki, and Misha.
Stop talking. That sounds unspeakably dirty. I've had enough of your filth. How vulgar. You make sure your statements are not so embarrassingly carelessly worded next time.
What?
What? You are so disrespectful. Amazing. Are all delinquent types like this? Even the way you dress shows flippant disregard for authority. Sweater vest? Disgraceful.
Delinquent? I'm on the student council. I'm hurt by his comment on my sweater vest. That's what you care about the most. That he insults your sweater vest. I'm hurt by his comment on my sweater vest, especially when it's coming from a guy in such a tacky shirt. I guess I can't really say anything, though. He has a sword. He might also kill bears. Misha loudly puts her plate down on the table.
That was delicious. She-chan and I are done now. Done now. He-chan, you are too, right? We should get going.
What a simple yet effective exit strategy. Jigoro Hakamichi, everyone. Oh, God. Just fucking samurai, man. barely have the time to put down my plate before they pull me up and out of there and finally outside.
Unbelievable! It was like I was really watching an interrogation. This is not a cop show. Guests definitely have responsibilities, but hasn't he ever heard of being a gracious host? Really?
Misha attempts to sloppily mimic Shizune's angry, choppy gestures as best she can. She has the expression down too, but the tone of her voice is the same as ever, thus lacking the anger necessary to bring it all together. Insert wahaha here.
Don't take it too hard, He-chan. She-chan's dad does this to everyone. I think it's like a joke.
That was the most aggressive joke possible. I'm also not at all convinced that it was a joke, considering this hastily staged retreat, but this isn't a good moment to discuss how Shizune's father might be a jerk.
He-chan, let's go shopping! You haven't been to town yet, have you? It'll be fun. We can see the sights and go to an amusement park. Maybe eat at a good restaurant.
I just had lunch. Even though I didn't eat much.
It's okay. In that case, we can just make sure that today is so busy that by the time we're done, it'll be time for dinner. It works out perfectly! Come on, He-chan!
They immediately flank me and hook my arms with theirs, Shizune taking one arm and Misha taking the other. At first, we almost trip over each other. Shizune walks at a very brisk pace, and Misha has an unusually bouncy way of moving around. When you get the hang of it soon enough, I notice we're going to town by cutting through the park. It doesn't seem efficient, so I'm guessing this is the scenic route. Walking this way hinders how we can communicate with each other significantly. I can't talk to Shizune at all. Shizune and Misha are down to one-handed gestures only. It feels nice though, so I don't mind too much. When I make a crack about it to Misha, she responds with mild confusion.
Really, He-chan? If you really want She-chan's attention, you could tell me, and I can tap her on the shoulder for you.
You could just let me go, and I'll do it myself. How are you gonna tap her on the shoulder from over there?
Like this!
She suddenly stops in her tracks roughly and tries to reach behind her back and across my shoulders to get Shizune's attention. She succeeds, but only because when Misha stopped, I had to as well, or we'd all fall over. Obviously, Shizune had to jerk to a halt too. The sight makes Misha let out one of her characteristic laughs, which shakes us around more, and Shizune starts flailing her free hand to get her to stop, which only causes her to laugh harder. Does this girl never not laugh? It's pretty funny to watch her get so flustered, and I start laughing too. I've been neglecting my sign language studies, so I should probably spend some time studying up on it. Although I think I've learned a lot just by osmosis. I'm very proud of that, and I'll have to be careful not to brag about it. Most of the books I brought with me aren't manuals on learning sign language, but studies about different signing dialects. I know Shizune has some secret signals with Misha that only the two of them know the meaning of. After seeing a couple of them, this book caught my eye in the school library. Maybe I should incorporate some of the examples into my own signing to mess with them. Because I'm pretty sure they've started using code words more when I started learning sign language. That'll teach them. After a quick break for a shower, I resumed practicing my signing in the guest room mirror. Yesterday, I crashed my fingers against each other pretty hard. It's still smarts, and I don't want a repeat of that to happen again. I hear knocking on the door behind me and turn to find Hideaki standing inside the doorway staring at me. How polite of him to knock, but usually you don't open the door first. What are you doing? I'm practicing sign language. How long have you been standing there? I did not see anything. That isn't the point. I don't even know what he means by that. It's not like I was doing something I'd be ashamed to have people see me doing. Although sign language must look strange to most people. I'm only used to it from being around Shizune and Misha so much. I'm brushing up on my sign language and reading about it too. Stuff like the history of it, even though they cover it in sign language class. Your school teaches sign language as a class? Yeah. It's one of the first things they brought up, though that's not very common to do. Let's try that again. One of the first things they brought up was that it's not very common to do that. I guess we're very international or something. It looks fun. Well, I wouldn't call it fun. If you do not enjoy this, it seems like a lot of work to go through just to talk to my sister. Why does everyone keep saying that? Hideaki's mouth twitches like he was about to laugh, but he restrains himself. Come to think of it, he hasn't laughed once since I met him. I could take it as a compliment that he doesn't laugh at me, but I'm curious to see it. Laugh. Why? That was the fastest and most direct way I could think of towards accomplishing my goal. Can you teach me sign language? He says it plainly, but his body language is nervous, showing that he clearly needs to put some effort into ask. I guess Hideaki likes his sister after all. I think Misha is a lot more approachable though, so I wonder why he didn't ask her. Secretly, I'm shouting, "Yes!" inside. I thought he wanted to learn sign language and even brought it up, but he had evaded the subject skillfully. Turns out I was right after all. I don't really know why this makes me so pleased. Sure. But now that I think about it, I'm not a sign language teacher. I don't even know where to start. In class, I'd be learning stuff gradually over a week. Does Hideaki expect me to teach him anything usable in a one-day crash course? My lord, that yes was... Of all things, my yes was loud. Out of everything I've done in this entire game and every other game, that yes you point out as being specifically loud. Also, hi Jen, how's it going? How's the class today? Maybe it's your headphones. Had therapy today, so don't teach until 12:30. Ah, okay. That was the appointment you had rescheduled, right? I'm assuming, unless this is just a different one entirely. Ah, okay. It's busy day, it's just half a day of work. Okay. Well, half a day of work is still work. It's more experience for you and money in your pocket. My teacher spent a couple days just giving a history of sign language. I decided to start off with that to buy some time while I figure out how I can segue into the hard stuff. 5 minutes in, Hideaki raises his hand. I don't understand what you're doing. Well, you can't just jump into teaching, you know? You have to ease into it. It's like when you go swimming. You don't just jump in the lake like in some movie. I do not swim. It's like scientists managed to create a process to suck out all the hyperactive, infuriating, and childlike qualities of a small child, and then implant them into the dad, creating a raging jerk dad and leaving behind Hideaki. I begin to feel claustrophobic, despite the fact the guest room is 3 times bigger than my dorm room, and there's just 2 of us in here. It's all in my head, I know it, and I don't care. I still use this as an excuse to move the lesson outside. It's a lot easier to concentrate out here. Even the precious few seconds it took to relocate managed to allow me to sort my thoughts. There were no questions during this time. Hideaki can't seem to talk and walk at the same time. Eventually, however, I start to realize if I'm going to teach him anything, I have to keep the lesson constantly moving. The second there's an opening for it, he'll ask a question, which will lead to more questions. Then there's no end to it. The second time he asks me why a certain hand motion means what it does, I have to reach deep into my memory to look for the etymology. I don't know about a gesture I only knew a month longer than him. I started looking for an out. Hideaki, let's take a break. Okay. What is your school like? This kid's like a little reporter. But it makes sense for someone his age to be curious, and this is one question I don't mind. What's it like? I never really thought about it. It's on top of this mountain, so it feels kind of isolated and lonely up there sometimes. Even though that's also why it has a pretty great view. Students there are interesting. I actually felt bad at first. You know what kind of school it is, right? Yes. I felt bad because I didn't want to go there. I don't even remember exactly what I was thinking at the time. Probably it was something like, a school for crippled people could be a depressing place. They were telling me to go to be forgotten there. Then, everyone was just living their lives for the most part. So I felt even worse. It wasn't different at all, so I felt like kind of a jerk. Shizune was the first person I met. She's in most of my classes. Misha too. They're always together. I guess the school's accommodating enough to pair them up as much as possible. There's this girl in my class, Hanako, who I feel bad for. She has these burns, and she seems to have a complex about them. But I think she looks fine. She's a cute girl. And friends with Lily, too. You know Lily, right? Does she bring up Hanako? Yes, sometimes. Trying to remember who else is interesting. We have a little track star, Ace, who runs on these prosthetics. There's this one girl, Rin, who doesn't have arms, but she's a great painter. All her art has this harsh, alive quality. Have you ever been to Yamaku? You've probably seen some of it hanging around. A little weird, sometimes, but I've always heard that artistic and creative types are like that. That reminds me, the guy who lives across the hall from me is pretty weird, too. He can be interesting, at least. Of course you gotta bring a fucking Kenji. You are also interesting. Is that bad? And what's with that tone? What does that even mean? Are you saying I'm weird, Hideaki? You talk a lot. My first instinct is to go on the defensive, but the more I think about it, he has a point. That's right, I do talk a lot. I don't think I used to. I think it's probably because of all the time I spent around Shizune and Misha. talking with them, I get caught up in all their circular logic and just how they do everything. Feel like I'm gonna be drowned out or left behind. My sister can drown you out? It's not like she's literally talking over me and stuff, obviously. It's hard to explain. They have more energy than I do. It's like an aggressiveness. I don't feel like I have to match it, but I want to. I think maybe your sister has that effect on people. Do you look up to your sister? He stares at me blankly, tense and confused as to how to react to the question. I will be better than Shizune. Better at what? At everything. Like what? I can do magic tricks. You mean like telling people you've got their nose, or more like the kind of magic where you pull a rabbit out of your ass? He doesn't look happy. Someday I will see Hideaki laugh. I might just try tickling him if I have to. Fucky Jigoro. Shizune's dad, Jen. This dude just casually carries a fucking sword with him. He's also a grade A asshole. Though I'll give them props for the design, at least his hair. Because he's got the blue hair of Shizune, but it all flows into the green hair of Hideaki. So, like, that's just a nice touch. You'll see. You'll see. The back door flies open and Jigoro strides out of it, keeping his back straight and taking giant, slow, regal strides, like either a king or a huge jackass. I try to turn away, using the train of logic that if I can't see him, he can't see me. Unfortunately, it doesn't pan out and he comes over so fast, like he's appeared out of the air over my shoulder.
Oh, what's up here? What are you two doing, flailing your hands around? Playing cat's cradle like a bunch of girls?
I'm teaching Hideaki some sign language. What about you, Mr. Hakamichi? He narrows his eyes suspiciously, as if he's not used to people being polite to him.
I am writing an autobiography of my life and times. And by writing, I mean I'm dictating it to my biographer. Unfortunately, she's running late. Unprofessional. Perhaps you should read it when it's published later this year. I can put you on the waiting list. Maybe it'll give you the moral compass you seem to lack in your life and inspire you to stop sucking.
It can't be sustainable for him to be so casually insulting to everyone. Though Hideaki is likely too detached to even notice, Shizune is deaf, and most of the insults must fly over Misha's head. Surely Akira must have an opinion on this. I try not to think about it. If he's doing this to psych me out, then I have to stay calm or he wins. He must absolutely, definitely not win. This must be how Shizune feels. How old are you?
46.
That doesn't seem old enough to justify writing a biography. I mean, that's not even old. Don't most people start writing their memoirs a lot later than that?
Shut up, boy. I'm gonna give you advice. Do not talk about matters of age with people older than you. You are less than half my age. You have no right to talk about old. I have an ulcer older than you.
Yeah, he's kind of a major dickweed. You should get that checked out. He might have a point, though. He's definitely older than I am.
Either way, if we were the same age, I wouldn't have to explain myself to you, sweater vest. Ugh. Why do you make that noise? Are you mad?
BRB lurking because food. Okie-doke.
Are you mad? Well, obviously. Good. Your sweater is terrible. I want you to feel bad about it. The burn tells me it's working.
I like my sweater.
I'm sure you like huffing glue too. That doesn't make it right.
I don't huff glue. Where'd you get the impression I do? That is slander. Wonder how Hideaki knows what slander is. Maybe Jigoro's a lawyer. I can sort of see that, although I thought only TV lawyers were this antagonistic. I don't know if I should take the chance and ask if that's his job. He's right. It is slander. Are you a lawyer?
I was guessing. A guess based on the fact that you are stupid. It's like, how are you assuming I am a lawyer? Except you have no reason to think that. If you want to know what I do so badly, why don't you pre-order my autobiography? Now you are insulting my book, and by extension my entire life. What gives you the right to do that? Arrogant. I'm trying to think of how I can make you understand my struggle. Maybe by beating you, with my autobiography. I hope you walk away from the beating having learned a valuable lesson. Like not making assumptions.
Assault. But he made an assumption too, that I huffed glue. Consider calling him out on this glaring example of hypocrisy, but I don't think it's worth it. He could probably explain his way out of it by saying, "Shut up, boy."
Back in my day, children were seen and not heard, and to be an adult meant having experienced many hardships. With even a glance, people could instantly judge a man's character. Childhood existed only to temper you for adulthood. When you look at me, can you not see the catalog of my experiences even at a glance?
Maybe. Were you a sword fighter? You could also be Hawaiian, and a werewolf. Wait, did you tell me before not to make assumptions? Now you just asked me to assume stuff. And you're saying everyone when you were my age did it. And that had to be like, what, the 80s? That wasn't even that long ago. Ready to give him a piece of my mind for talking like he had to walk 15 miles in the snow to ride a coal train, then had to shovel the coal into himself before climbing a mountain while fighting ogres to get to school. But now that I finally want to fight, Jigoro was happy to have a good thing going, just continuing to ramble about how difficult it was growing up one generation ago, twirling his sword like a baton and occasionally stopping to yawn or check the time. The tardiness of his autobiographer is still foremost in his mind. That means the whole time he's been insulting me, he must just be doing it to pass the time. To add insult to insult, his watch is also really nice.
When I was your age, kids had responsibilities. Not like today. Sickening. No one thinks about the consequences of their actions anymore. They just do whatever they want, thinking no one will hold them accountable since they're young.
It's odd. That description could fit Shizune and Misha. I thought something similar only yesterday. It only fits them slightly.
Look at yourself. An immoral, directionless delinquent glue huffer with a complete lack of etiquette and absolutely no fashion sense. You are tomorrow's Japan. Disgraceful. Is this the future of this once great country?
I know someone who you would get along well with. Oh my god, put Kenji and Jigoro in the same fucking room. That'd be amazing.
Don't interrupt! Who? One of your friends? Why would I want to talk to some awful teenager? Have you even been listening? Why are you so rude, boy? Your attitude is not one that will make you a lot of friends.
I wish you would stop giving me so much advice. Or at least, I wish he would give me advice that he would have the decency to adhere to himself.
Where have you been?
Huh?
Not you, idiot.
Oops, I didn't notice you there. Shizune smiles and gives a short wave. Her arrival made Jigoro stop talking, so I'm already happy to see her for that reason alone. Misha and I decided to go into town again. Isao, I noticed you were looking at some clothes yesterday in a store window, and I thought I would go back and buy some of them for you. It was supposed to be a surprise, though. She looks annoyed that the surprise is ruined, even though she ruined it herself. Here you go. Thanks. Misha wanted to cut her hair. I told her not to, but she said it was too hot for the summer. Yeah? I don't know. That makes a lot of sense to me. Must be like an oven under there. I want to see it. Where is Misha anyway? Boy. Misha got a haircut.
Over here. Hi, Hee-chan. Hi, Mr. Shi-chan's father. Hi, Hideaki.
She cut off the drills. Misha runs around us once in a wide circle before stopping next to Shizune. For the first time, she hasn't put her hands over my eyes, although now I see she has bags of her own to carry, so it's not like she could have even if she wanted to. Although I'm positive she's tried before. Her meticulously styled curls are gone now, in favor of a much shorter, sportier look. Misha looks even happier than usual, probably because she knows she won't have to wake up at the crack of dawn every morning just to do her hair.
What is that haircut? You look like an intern. Your old haircut merely made you look like you were wearing a pink judge wig. Judge to intern is a huge demotion.
Isao, is he saying something insulting? Tell him not to insult my friends.
Don't insult my friends.
Which one of you is talking?
Both of us. I agree with her. And Misha just, doesn't care.
What do you think, Hee-chan? You should have kept it like it was. Ah, Hee-chan, you look disappointed. You don't like it either?
Well, yeah, I'll admit I kind of liked your old haircut more. I think this one is nice too. It suits you.
Ah, thanks, Hee-chan.
Touching. If you like it so much, maybe you two should trade.
You can't trade a haircut.
What a shame. Even her old haircut would suit you much more than your current slacker haircut. Awful. As for you... Actually, this is much less garish than your other haircut. I like it.
Really? Thanks, Mr. Shizune's dad.
It's Mr. Hakamichi. Talk like a normal person.
I don't understand. Okay. I'll call you Mr. Hakamichi.
It's like speaking to a slide whistle. Contemptible. Where's my biographer? Hideaki!
He starts quietly muttering to himself and walks off. Guess a wannabe cranky old man like Shigoro would at the very least be hesitant to yell at girls. Suddenly, he doubles back, unable to resist his urge to have the last word.
And another thing. You do not have to be so loud. I do not like being shouted at.
What? Shouting? I'm not shouting.
I can't think of anyone more unqualified to talk about what's garish or to chastise someone else on shouting at people. It's like a parade of hypocrisies, and the hits just keep coming. An unusual reaction seems to be taking place. Misha apparently finds Jigoro funny and laughs pretty much every time he says something, which only makes him berate her harder. And I guess this is what they call a vicious circle. Misha's voice is punctuated with explosions of laughter and seems to come from everywhere. On the other hand, Jigoro's is booming and directed like a cannon. In any case, they are both unbelievably loud. The more they talk to each other, the more they seem to play off each other's volume and get louder.
Ow! My ears hurt!
Why are you shouting? Shizune's hands wrap around my eyes from behind, something I'm so used to Misha doing that for the first time I find myself confused by it, since Misha is in front of me. She lets go and holds up a finger to her lips.
What a perfect distraction. Now's our opportunity. Let's sneak off.
Got Michaelina's like a champion? What? What? I'm confused. Ah, okay. Okay, frozen dinner. Cool, cool. Yeah, those are good for every once in a while. Why do we have to sneak off? Why not just walk off?
It wouldn't be as fun. It's decided. It's a secret mission. Escape without being detected.
Extract Hideaki for bonus points. Already, she's simplified the situation into a game. Shizune quietly slides away from the scene and begins edging towards the house. I walk towards it normally. I can't find Shizune at first, but eventually she walks into the main part of the house, sipping a glass of ice water and dangling her glasses back and forth from her free hand. She whips them on as soon as she sees me.
You didn't rescue Hideaki. That means you don't get the bonus points. If you were also being graded on style, I'd have to deduct points for a boring escape.
Looks like you wanted to talk to me. I didn't know how to be stylish about it. Some say the most stylish people are the ones that don't try hard to look cool. Oh my god, I barely read right now.
You're really cool.
I wonder how it is I can pick up on her sarcasm so easily, and how hard it might have been for her to learn the concept of sarcasm without being able to hear. I can't imagine it. You seem like you're in a good mood. Although I guess it isn't really a good mood. It's more that she seems very excited.
I'm in a bad mood.
Setting her drink down, Shizune sits down on the couch.
I'd like to rig the hairstyle so much more. It looks so pretty. It was refined and meticulous. Now she looks too sporty and tomboyish.
I wouldn't call Misha refined and meticulous. That sounds more like you. You should give it a chance. Grow your hair out and make it look like drills. Actually, maybe this suits you just fine. Shizune rubs the frame of her glasses roughly, looking annoyed at the implications behind what I just signed to her. That's fine, because I was totally implying that. She moves a little closer to me when I take a seat.
I'm a tomboy?
Well, no one would call you a tomboy, based on appearances. Shizune glares at me unamused. I have to fight to keep a straight face. Maybe you two should trade haircuts anyway. You sound like my father. It's true. Shizune giggles noiselessly when she sees my displeasure at the realization. Jumping to her feet, she twirls an invisible sword in her left hand while standing up militarily straight and grimacing. A terrifyingly accurate impression. Anyway, I don't take advice from anyone who wears a blue sweater with brown pants. Where's your sense of color coordination? Dreadful. But changing my haircut, that might be fun. Wouldn't it be? I want to see how everyone would react. You must really like playing with people. Sometimes I think a little too much. No answer. The way she fiddles with her glasses, brow furrowed, tells me that it's because she can't. It's fun. Then, with more confidence, and while pulling herself closer to me, it's fun to drag more and more people into my life. Oh, I see. I wonder if I'm included in that number. I want to ask, but I'm not even sure how I would. Shizune wags a finger preemptively, indicating that she won't be answering such a question anyway. She reaches for her glass, but doesn't seem to realize how far she's managed to inch away from it all this time. To prevent herself from tipping over clumsily, Shizune tries to grab onto me and ends up pulling me on top of her. As I lean over her, I can feel the heat coming off her body and realize how close we are. I can hear her soft breathing and the slight rustling of her clothes as she momentarily fidgets about. A blush starts to creep into her cheeks, but her eyes stare straight into mine, dark and unblinking. It's the same look from the first time I saw her, piercing and devoid of any clear emotions. Just waiting to see what'll happen next, like the eyes of a cat. Makes me feel uncomfortable being looked at in such a way. This is the first time I've been so close to her for an extended period of time, and the mood is different now. The situation now isn't the same as a passing touching of hands or her and Misha's usual games. Shizune's fingers weave together tentatively, but she makes no move to sign. The look in her eyes isn't just nothing, like I'd thought. It's more like expectation. I wonder if maybe I've been following the string of her expectations this entire time. I feel her grabbing me by the shoulders, and then gently but firmly pushing me off of her. I roll sideways onto the small, soft couch and pull myself into a sitting position less than a foot from her. The way I feel, she might as well have thrown me 10 yards. When I think about it, this is perhaps one of the biggest drawbacks to sign language. Shizune said the fact that you have to sign your words out with your hands means you have time to reflect on what you want to say before you say it. But on the other hand, it also means that would normally just be an awkward silence. That means that would normally... Damn it! I'll try this again. But on the other hand, it also means that what would normally just be an awkward silence becomes an insurmountable wall. I'd just blurt out something, anything, to try and dispel the tension I'm feeling right now if I could, but I can't. Ordinarily, I think that what would be normal would be to apologize and maybe leave. But right now, I wonder if that is even applicable. I can't get past how guilty such an action would seem. Like I were just slinking away. Of course, it's not like I can just play it off like nothing happened either. That would just be insulting to both of us. So as much as I don't want to, I apologize quickly, so quickly I forget to sign it. Then I go back to my room. Oh boy, I know what's happening soon. Sighing, I let myself fall backwards into bed. I wish I could just go to sleep right now, but I feel wide awake. I sit up when I hear the door closing and open my eyes to see Shizune sitting in the chair in front of me. She asks a question that goes right over my head due to my surprise. It's not a feeling I'm good at concealing, but I don't think it's what she intended. Whatever she was saying, she backs off and doesn't attempt to sign again for a while. This is the first time I've been in your room. Shizune tenses her fingers and puts on an exaggerated attempt to make herself look embarrassed and modest at the thought. I can't appreciate the joke. Just the fact that she's here has me feeling a bit scattered. Very funny. It isn't even my room. It's your guest room. Besides, you and Misha barged into my room once before. It seems as if she expects me to say more. I remember feeling very panicked when they burst into my room, afraid of what conclusions they would jump to, seeing the wall of pills lining the place. I don't think that Shizune remembers, though. It made you nervous. The way she says it so factually stings me. A lot of things make me nervous. You're one of them. Because you're overeager to always get people involved. Whatever you're doing. Whether it's joining the student council or even taking a break. Whether they want to or not. She signs almost at a crawl, her hands pausing mid-sentence far too much, causing the words to dissipate formlessly before I can even begin to try to understand them. I try not to let on that this is the case. It seems to work, but she looks a little sad, and I regret I have nothing to say to snap her from the strangely wistful and distant expression she's wearing. All I can do is wait for her to come out of it. You are right. I want to drag everyone into my life. But lately, I'm no longer sure if that's the right thing to do. I enjoyed you taking me to your favorite restaurant the other night. It's not like that was my favorite restaurant. I have others I like. I might even be able to rank them by number. Really? This chair is so hard. I want to sit on the bed. Motioning to her to go ahead, I wait for her to get off the chair and take her place when she does. Though I didn't intend for it to be, she finds it amusing. Close your eyes. Why? It's a surprise. I decide to humor her and close them. I can feel her leaning over me, and suddenly, something soft and moist touches my lips. My body tenses up in surprise. Fortunately, not as awkward a reaction as I could have made. It was just a quick peck, and I almost think that's the end of it. Then she kisses me again, more deeply this time. Her hands slide onto my shoulders, up around my neck, and then back down again. And across my shoulders and down my arms. I can feel the weight of her body on my legs, and the eroticism of the situation isn't lost on me. At this point, I'm ready to try to open my eyes just a crack, but as if expecting it, she puts her fingers on my eyelids. Oh my god. Seconds later, something ties my hands together at the wrists, and I panic, not knowing what to make of this. My first thought is to ask Shizune what she's thinking. Even though she can't hear me, I'm sure she gets the gist of it. She won't let go of my hands, tracing her fingers over them, from the lines of my palms, over my knuckles, and to my wrists. Hey, What are you doing? What is this? Oh, wow, it's actually a spelling mistake. Interesting. I never noticed that before. Of course, with my hands tied behind my back, I might as well be gagged. Part of me can't help but think this is what she intended. As if reading my thoughts, a mischievous expression lights up her face, but her blushing doesn't fade. In fact, it only deepens when our eyes meet. Embarrassed, she leans deeper into our partial embrace, hiding her face by burying it in my shoulder and neck. Her hair is soft and tickles me, and I let out a laugh knowing she won't hear me. That she won't hear me, won't be offended. Yep. Yeah, that was the H scene. Yeah, she fished it out and just wrote him. Afterwards, I listen to the sound of my heartbeat slowing down until it reaches its normal rhythm. I listen to the sound of Shizune's breathing as it does the same. Her glasses are slightly askew, and this is the first time she isn't messing around with them in some way. I want to straighten them for her, but the second I try, I'm reminded that I can't. Shizune seems to have forgotten it as well. Instead of getting up, she presses herself against me in the chair to extend her reach. It's almost as if this is the only position she can think of to untie my hands from. That is what I think as I feel her unbinding my wrists. However, she doesn't get off me. Her fingers gently stroke against mine, occasionally bending inwards to run over my palms. It's funny, but I feel more connected to Shizune through this simple act than before. Shizune stays pressed against me like this for some time. It's a little uncomfortable, but it makes me feel happy, as if I could stay like this for hours. And the jokes of Shizune being into bondage were born. The days since then have passed so quickly that time seems to slip through my fingers like water. Every time I've tried to talk to Shizune, she's been out running errands or with Misha. I feel as if she's avoiding me. I'm not surprised. Of course it bothers me, but I think the way she's acting seems pretty natural. Then again, it's not like I've been through this before. Whenever I can't find Shizune, I end up running into Misha, and when I do, I ask her to help me with my signing. However, she always ends up squirming out of it. We're leaving after today, so I'm determined not to let her escape this time. Once we head back to school, we're probably going to have to start grinding through more student council affairs in preparation for school restarting. I want to brush up on my signing as much as possible by then, even if it's a day's worth. Come on, it's pretty much just having a couple sign language conversations. You do that all the time. Actually, you're doing it right now. Insert wahaha here.
Really, Hee-chan? That's funny!
Misha temporarily stops her unconscious signing in order to wave her hands in front of her face in denial, but then quickly resumes gesturing everything the both of us are saying to no one in particular.
Hee-chan, you're so persistent. Suddenly being interested in sign language again? Could it be that Hee-chan wants to make a career out of it? That's not fair. That was my idea first. You should be careful, Hee-chan. Times change too quickly. By the time I decided I wanted to be a sign language interpreter, they had cell phones that people could type out whole paragraphs on. Amazing! Not very good for me, though.
as she knows that another deferral isn't going to cut it this time, Misha changes her tune pretty quickly to a more apologetic one.
I'm sorry, Hee-chan. I'm just so tired. Especially lately. Even though being with Shi-chan is fun, she has way more energy than me. Teaching on top of that would be too tiring. I didn't have that much stamina. Sorry.
She doesn't seem very tired, shouting the statement with her usual cheer and vigor. I know it's wrong of me to keep pestering her like this, though.
Actually, Shi-chan and I were planning on going shopping today. It's our last chance to pick up some souvenirs.
Souvenirs, huh? I almost forgot that I was on vacation. I understand what you're saying. Teaching doesn't seem so easy. Hideaki asked me to teach him how to sign, and I was unbelievably lost the whole time. Well, I wonder how it'll work out for you when you become a sign language teacher. Can't get tired too easily doing that.
Yeah, right. I hope not. Hee-chan, now I'm kind of worried. But souvenirs. So, some other time, Hee-chan. Do you want us to get you something too?
Just because I understand, that doesn't mean I don't want her to teach me. I suppose I can't press her any further now, though. Even I'm bothered by how selfish it would seem for me to do so. I give up. No, don't get me anything. I'm serious. Don't surprise me with a funny shirt or something, okay? I don't like the sound of that. Slipping on her shoes, she yells goodbye to the otherwise empty house and opens the door to leave, letting a cool breath of fresh air into the hallway. A tuft of dark hair peeking from the door frame tells me Shizune is waiting for her outside. Good morning. Misha translates for me from beyond the doorway. Shizune turns around to give me a small wave. Even though it's different from her usual offhand greetings in the smallest ways, there's an unmistakable hesitation there. It leaves me with a vaguely empty and distant feeling.
Hee-chan, you're up early. Am I interrupting a conversation?
I was trying to get Misha to teach me how to talk to you, but I guess I was being impatient and it can wait. You two are planning on going shopping today anyway. Having Misha there, I forget to sign my words as I say them. Unfortunately, since Shizune moved to fill the doorway, Misha's behind her. This brief misalignment in our position means that what I'm saying is totally lost on her. I don't understand you at all. There are things I want to say that I can't put in a way she would understand, and there are entire conversations that she could have had that would go right over my head. I want to tell her now that it won't be that way for much longer. Instead, I just say, never mind, and tell them to have a good time, then wave them off. Seems like everyone is out for the day, so I sit down in the biggest and most comfortable looking chair in the living room with a book. Not a sign language book, but one of the novels I checked out of the library my first week. That was so long ago. I should really start chipping at that pile of books I borrowed, or at least return them. 16 pages in, Jigoro walks into the room, a stack of papers in one hand and his sword twirling idly like a baton in the other, casually shaking water from a recent shower from his hair. Oh my god. Upon being seen doing something so ungentlemanly, he freezes like a deer in the headlights and slowly moves on to smoldering with a powerful but baseless fury as he sits down on the couch a few feet away. This is only the third time I've met him, and I'm starting to feel nauseous on reaction. I guess in a way, this can be considered a kind of charisma. I haven't even said anything, he already seems less than pleased. It's likely a bad idea to provoke him, and just talking to him may count as provoking him. However, I can't help thinking of the alternate situations that could play out. Let's say I don't open my mouth at all and walk away. Maybe go read in my room or outside. That would definitely go down as an unforgivable insult. He'd probably tell me to hold it and destroy me. Either way, not too polite on my part. What are you reading?
The draft for my autobiography. It's the story of a man who wakes up to find an uninvited guest in his living room, sitting in his chair and reading shallow literary dreck.
I barely started reading the book. I don't even have an opinion on it yet. I can already see how this conversation's gonna play out, so I might as well try to steer it in a different direction. Where's Hideaki?
You even ask questions rudely. Disgraceful. That aside, why would you ask me such a stupid question? How would I know? Am I my son's keeper?
Well, you are. Well, you are his dad. It seems like he does live here, so... But I guess I can't say that, tempting as it is. I give up. I already tried to make small talk with him and failed. It's like trying to talk up to a brick wall that also hates you. That is my cue to leave and sift through my wallet to see if I have enough money to go to a movie. As I'm about to stand, I have second thoughts. I'm too tired to go through trying to smooth over my problematic situations by trying to continuously walk away from them. It's hypocritical of me to get upset at Misha for trying to defer things when even I run from my own girlfriend. When Chigoro attempts to stop me, I'm almost glad, even though I no longer have any intention to leave.
Wait.
He says it with plenty of authority, but nothing else, as if it's just a particularly commanding afterthought. Only a very powerful or very arrogant person can tell someone to hold in such a manner. I'm sort of impressed.
You were in the student council with Shizune, aren't you? What is your job there?
I don't think there are specific roles other than the president. Shizune is always trying to round people up to help out here and there. Usually you might get like one person to pitch in, otherwise the three of us do whatever needs to be done. It's crossed my mind a couple times, around when I first met her, that Shizune's disquietingly analytical stare might be because of her deafness, but it turns out it's a trait shared by everyone else in her family.
And is that okay with you?
Why wouldn't it be?
You, Shizune, and that pink-haired girl? Is that really your entire student council? With a student council that small, they won't even bother to hold elections. I'm gonna take a guess and say that you didn't join the student council. Shizune drafted you into it. You said you don't know exactly what your title is. That makes sense. I suppose if you weren't even elected, you couldn't even be expected to know. After all, if you're not elected, you aren't really anything. No one is going to respect a student council like that. An unelected body of 3 people trying to scrounge up the equivalent of temp workers? It must be a sorry school if 3 kids having a tea party can handle every issue.
What's how small it is have to do with anything? If the student council gets things done, isn't that enough? It's not just a game either. Maybe you should actually come to the school one day. If you get there on the right days, you might be able to see what Shizune is able to accomplish.
Do you think that I have so much free time that I can afford to waltz over to your boondocks and watch my daughter's feats of whatever the fuck that word is?
Aggrandizement? What the hell? I've never seen that before. Alright, Google, best friend. Tell me what the hell this word is. Aggrandizement? pronunciation?
Aggrandizement.
Aggrandizement, okay.
Do you think I have so much free time that I can afford to waltz over to your boondocks and watch my daughter's feats of self-aggrandizement? I've never been so disgusted in my life.
What you're saying is they might not. What you're saying is they might as well not have a student council. But the fact remains there is one, and Shizune got elected to it. And for her, it isn't a meaningless position. In fact, she works very hard for it.
You sound like someone who voted for her.
No, I wasn't there for that.
Ha! You didn't even vote for her. Well, besides that, why don't you ask Hideaki about this? Shizune has wanted to be a high school student council president since middle school. She would have him read all her practice speeches, wasting his time. For what reason?
This whole time, he hasn't even looked up from thumbing through his manuscript. It's getting increasingly frustrating. Because it isn't a game. We don't run the school, but it's not like we're just playing at it and not taking it seriously. I wonder if it's so wrong to not be a purist.
I've been to your school. Really? The students there?
I can already think of a million things he might say, and I'm preparing for my heart to sink on hearing any of them. It's funny. They're probably things I thought before.
They don't even have cleaning duty.
That is not what I expected at all. He's also wrong. They do. I should know. I get to skip out on it since I'm in the student council. The concept of being wrong confuses Jigoro. I should take this opportunity to go on the attack. It's really odd that I'm thinking this way of a simple conversation. Sounds like the last time you were there was really some time ago. If you can leisurely write some memoirs, you can talk to Shizune now and then. Don't you think she has stuff she's proud of? That's how young people are. We have things to be proud of. If you're writing an autobiography, you should get that. Such an opportunity, and I blew it. I don't know how I was expecting him to react. Maybe introspectively, but Jigoro only grows angrier by the second. Yet as he does, he also seems calmer in a way. More sure of himself and in control.
Who do you think you are to assume that my life is so easy? You haven't even read my biography, yet you're able to tell me how I should handle all my affairs, including dealing with my own daughter? You could never understand. Even if I were to get up from this couch, walk over to you right now, and punch you in the forehead with brass knuckles with a condensed edition of my life story on them, leaving my biography imprinted in your face, you would not understand.
Ow.
For 12 years, Shizune did not even talk to me, even though I hired multiple tutors and interpreters of all sorts for her to try and get her to become normal. It isn't as simple as you think it is.
Your daughter is deaf, you fucking moron.
If she doesn't want to bother with me, then fine. I assume that is normal. When was the last time you talked to your parents?
It has been a while, and I feel ashamed. More so that he caught me than at how easily I could have dropped my parents a phone call or sent them an email, or even a letter, and I haven't. This knowledge only makes me feel more ashamed.
I thought so.
If I wanted to see my parents, I couldn't. This is different. You aren't even that far from her. It's one train ride away.
That is enough. No means no. You are very persistent. If only it was about something that mattered. I can't see what you've learned from my daughter aside from that and how to backtalk people. Is that it?
The answer is yes. I wasn't this persistent or argumentative before meeting Shizune and Misha. After all, prior to meeting them, I just experienced a small death. It's a mystery as to why I refused to just join the student council in the first place. Possibly it was from trying to get away from their nagging so much that I was able to get my energy back. It's a cute idea. I think again about why I'm still here. Arguing with Jigoro is pointless, yet I think I almost look forward to it. And he's right, I cannot understand him. If I did, he wouldn't care. I'm a louse that crawls on a whale. Wholly insignificant. He has a confidence that I don't. Shizune does, and it could be that the reason why I'm here now, in an almost shouting match with her father, is because some of that bravery is rubbed off onto me. However, I don't have anything to keep it going. Still, I hate him. I don't know what I can do. A few months ago, I think I would have punched him, let the consequences play out as they may. But now I can't risk it. If he were to hit me back, he'd likely kill me. So in the end, the only thing I can do is look at Jigoro in silence, knowing that I have no reply and hate him, and feel completely at loss. Oddly, he takes it as defiance.
Fine then. Have fun with that.
Picking up his sword and using it to pull himself to his feet, he turns and casually saunters out of the room. I want to throw my book after him, but I'm happy to finally be alone, even if I'm not in the mood to read any longer. Yeah, fuck her dad! My daughter doesn't speak because she's ignoring me and doesn't want anything to do with me, despite me constantly getting people to try to get her to talk to me. She is deaf, you dumb fuck. A return trip to school keeps getting delayed in one way or another. Shizune and Misha come back so late that there's no use even leaving, and we end up staying another day. The morning after, we miss the train by a single minute, and then the next two don't arrive. We missed the fourth train because I wandered off to get a drink in the meantime. Shizune wasn't very happy about that. By the time I finally get back to my room, I feel so tired, even though I spend most of the ride back sleeping. I can't say it's only because of today. This seems like a familiar symptom of traveling. It's not the first time it's happened. If no one has beaten me to it, I could do a thesis on it. Maybe get in a medical journal. Returning from a trip syndrome. Not very creative. I fall asleep before I can think of a better name. A loud knock on my door wakes me up only a few hours into my nap. I'm annoyed because I've just been in the middle of a dream and I can't remember, having been woken up in the middle of it. But I'm sure it was a good one. I briefly wonder who it could be, but it's not like I get many visitors, so I'm sure it's Kenji. I hope he's just rolling out the welcome wagon and not going to hit me up for money again. If that was the case, I'd almost be touched. Not touched enough to fight off the urge to roll over and go back to sleep, though. A few hours after that, I wake up again and immediately spot an envelope on the floor. Must be something that came in the mail while I was away. That's Shizune and Misha's department, so I wonder if they dropped by to give it to me. Or maybe someone filled in for them in their absence and told Kenji to pass it along. When I pick it up, any remnants of sleepiness in me instantly vanish. Even if the name of the sender wasn't on it, I would have known whom it was by looking at the envelope itself, realizing why it looked so familiar. By recognizing the delicate handwriting addressing it. It's from Iwanako. At first I can't believe it, but it wouldn't be too hard for her to track me down if she wanted to. Of course, I hadn't thought that she would want to. She was maybe my girlfriend for all of 5 seconds. After that, we barely spoke to each other. It would be too easy to put this letter away somewhere and forget about it. A part of me wants to do that, or throw it away unread. Why I want to do these things, I don't know. It'd be easy to do them. Easier than to read it. Slitting the envelope open with the tip of a pen, I'm surprised by the length of the letter that spills out. Dear Hisao, how are you? I hope you are well and happy at your new school. Everyone here misses you. Almost all of our second-year class got put together in Class 3-1 for the final year, so we're pretty comfortable right from the beginning of the year. I'm sure you would have been assigned to this class as well. The mood among the third year seems to be very anxious about the final exams, even though they're so far away. The teachers are badgering us about it all the time. Even old Mr. Tachibana, who is, by the way, our homeroom teacher this year. Would you believe it? I was sure that he'd retire after our second year, but here he is, nagging everyone about studying for exams. I think things like that are the main reason why the mood among the third years is so nervous. I must admit, I'm somehow losing confidence in myself as well, even though I've always fared reasonably well in exams. The small talk makes me feel nostalgic. It's almost like I'm in the hospital again. Every now and then, Iwanaka would drop by and give me the gist of what's going on in class that, even then, I had an inkling I would never return to. It's so weird to think we're already seniors, isn't it? Time has really flown past. I wonder where it went. The new first year seems so young and somehow really innocent. I keep wondering if I was like them in my first year. I've been feeling nostalgic like this for the whole first trimester. There are other things I want to say. I'm writing to you because I felt there are things I should have said after that incident back in winter. I really regret that I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it. The truth is, the times when I visited you in the hospital made me worried about you. I'm not talking about your health. You seem to become more distant and disheartened. It was natural after something like that happened, I'm sure. But somehow I got the feeling you'd given up on something back then. Happiness, maybe? I wanted to somehow express my feelings, but the right words didn't come to me. I couldn't say anything to comfort you. I am really sorry for not being able to support you when it mattered the most, even though I like you so much. At least now, finally, I can be more honest. What a convenient time for her to rediscover her sincerity. Well, even as I think that, I know she's right. Distant and disheartened is a good way to describe it. And maybe I'd given up too. It weighs on my heart when I think back to when I was laying in the hospital, feeling so bitter when she finally stopped showing up. I wasn't surprised, and I had no right to be. How could she not stop coming when it was the only expectation I had of her? She dropped by only for all of 6 weeks after the incident. After I drifted away from her, it was because I could feel her already moving herself away from me the moment she showed up. If I could go back to those quiet days in February and March, I'd tell you not to give up on yourself. That's what I would say. Maybe you wouldn't have drifted so far if we had just said something. I hope you've managed to get back on your own feet. On your own, whatever. Now that the distance between us is also physical, it also feels more final somehow. I wonder if we'll meet again. Perhaps it's for the best if we don't? Still, if you would like to correspond with me, by all means write me back. I'd very much like to hear about your new school and how you're doing. I wish you all the best. Sincerely, Iwanako. It's a strange feeling. I know that I'm never going to hear from her again. If she really wanted to keep in touch, she wouldn't have picked a medium like snail mail to do it through. If she could get my address, then my email or phone number wouldn't have been much more work, had she wanted them. This is only a goodbye. I exhale, only just now becoming aware that I've been reading with bated breath. Now who's being distant, Iwanako? But maybe it really is for the best. For her to pick up a pen and write this letter to me, it can only be because she felt guilty about how things ended. That she was hurt by how we floated out of each other's lives made me feel a sort of wistful happiness. I almost want to thank her, and I only don't because I know she wouldn't want me to reply. There's a knock on at my door, then it opens anyway about a millisecond later. I forgot to lock it stupidly. Oh my god. Sup, man? Why's your door open? I run to the door faster than is possible, probably medically safe for me to do so I can prevent Kenji from seeing the mountains of pills just a couple of feet away from him, blocked from his sight only by the door. Then there's the letter I'm holding. If he asks about it, I don't think I can make up anything convincing. About 2 feet away from him, I realize his vision is so bad that it was probably never an issue. He didn't even see me about to practically tackle him back through the doorframe. Hey, what the hell, man? What are you talking about? Your room has a billion locks on it, and you just barge right through other people's doors. Didn't even wait a second after knocking before you tried the door. It was like simultaneous. You were already opening the door while you were knocking on it. See? That's exactly why I have all these locks. It's a cold and uncaring world out there. A gatecrasher's world. Now you also understand. I just taught you a valuable lesson, dude. Knowledge is power. Why are you yelling at me? I'm a hero. Look at you. You didn't even lock your door. The average woman could have killed you 1 billion times already, then replaced you with a female clone indistinguishable from the original. It almost happened to me. Ignoring the latter part, since it's too confusing, it's funny he should say that. He was unable to stop me from tackling him head-on, yet apparently a woman could have killed me 1 billion times. If this man is a hero, we're all doomed. What's that you got there? Somehow he's able to see the letter still in my hand. I've been waving it around, and that's no surprise. I fold it back up quickly, but take care not to whip it behind my back or anything else. That would be too suspicious. Seems like I'm jumpier than I thought about Iwanako writing to me. I got a letter. Oh, yeah. I put that there. I was sleeping, then I woke up because I heard explosions. I put on my helmet, then peeked outside to see what was going on. It was just that student council woman banging on your door. It was the one without pink hair. She was knocking so loudly that it was obvious she was filled with murderous rage. Rage at you. Then she somehow sensed me behind her, and I tried to escape, but it was too late. She caught me and started pointing at the door. I opened my mouth to tell him that she's deaf, but decide not to. For various reasons. I'd really get it, and she was more and more pissed off, like an old man trying to use a touchscreen phone. She was going to kill me and replace me with a woman version of me. Then the sunlight reflected off my glasses and blinded her, saving my life. It was like, behold, optic blast! I don't get how someone with glasses can be hurt by glasses. She uses them too. She should be immune to their death rays. But whatever. She gave me this envelope with your name on it and just left. Clearly she was out for blood, so I lied and said you were away. I think you were away, right? I've been trying to ask if you wanted help with my homework for a week now. I kept getting no answer. Welcome back, man. Thanks. Yeah, so she gave me this envelope and it had your name on it. I didn't want to hold on to it because what if it was a bomb? So I shoved it onto your door when she was gone.
I was gonna tell you, but you got back before I could. At least it's not a bomb.
Gee, thanks. Ugh. Throat hurts so much. I'm not gonna help you out with your math homework because what if your math textbook is a bomb? He looks devastated, and also like he's considering the possibility that it really could be a bomb. I guess it is possible, since no one really uses their math book all that much. I throw the letter on the dresser behind me and turn to leave, swinging the door shut behind me as I do. It collides against the tip of Kenji's shoe and bounces back open. Well, he hops around for a bit, acting like it hurt way more than it should have. Before I know it, he's already inside my room. I'm powerless to stop him before he scoops up the letter, strangely ignoring the towers of pills surrounding it. Don't just read mail that isn't your own. Come on, what is it? A love letter from your girlfriend? Did she include any photos? Sexy photos? Reclining against the dresser and paying no mind to the bottles he sends all over the floor by doing so, Kenji quietly reads through Iwanako's letter. The process takes seemingly forever, and with how close he holds it to his face, it makes it look like he's trying to eat it. Who's Iwanako? My ex-girlfriend. Ex-girlfriend, huh? This is a breakup letter, then. I thought they were a myth. No, I guess it is, but really, she's been my ex-girlfriend for a while. Anyway, I think I'm already over it. Kenji gives a thumbs up, clearly relieved that I'm not going to take this into an awkward direction. Although I almost want to, since I told him not to read it. Yeah, that's a good attitude. It's alright. I had a bad breakup too, but you can't let it get you down. I mean, just look at me. But hey, she wrote you a letter. Maybe she wants to get back together, huh? It says right here, write her back. You should do it. Is she cute? For a guy who thinks the feminists are working to enslave men everywhere, he really is interested in cute girls. I have a girlfriend. Besides, look at the context. She doesn't want me to write back. Just because that's what it says, that isn't what she means. But that's what she wrote. This rockfish kid chick totally still wants you. It even says it right here. I read it. I know what it says. I told you. You have to look at the context. She said I drifted away from her, and everything there shows she accepted that. I think the reason she wrote to me is she just wants to, I guess, part amicably. Amicably. But we're done. She doesn't want to get back together or whatever you're thinking. As I think about it more, it sounds to me like I'm just trying to make excuses for myself. It's not a good place to be. I'm positive she doesn't want me to write her back. I can live with that. If I were to write her back and get a less than desirable response, or no response, then I would be crushed. Perhaps the fear of that is why I'm trying to justify my decision. It could be, but I don't want to think about it. The thought is oddly repulsive. Why is this such a big deal to you anyway? Because you should write her back. She wants you to. I want to see what the response is going to be. Damn, it doesn't even have to be a nice letter. That's cool too, but you could write an angry letter and call her out. That's my new attack strategy. I'm just going to call women out. You should try it. You know, she wrote me a letter. You have to understand what that means. Writing someone a letter is different now. It's not something you just do. Not in this kind of situation. You can pick up your phone or call someone across the world in an instant. Talk to them almost like they were there with you. Or send them an email. They'll be notified instantly if they got it and can reply back, just like that. A letter can be a personal thing, but she wanted to keep me at an arm's distance. It's not like I can pop over there and visit her. If I had her number, I could call her, or if I had her mail, I could mail her. If she really wanted to hear back from me, she would have dropped one of those in there. Why has it always got to be this man's face first thing I see? Somehow you're just tied to Kenji, apparently. Also, hi Aqua, how you doing? You unfortunately missed us meeting Shizune's father, Jigoro. He's a character. Just imagine a dude with a goatee, long blue and green hair, wearing a Hawaiian shirt, and casually carrying a samurai sword. And constantly putting everyone around him down because he feels like it. Like, one of the things he says to us is, we're disgraceful because we wear a sweater vest. Good, just getting my lunch on. How's it going? Ah, it's going good. It is going really good. What's for lunch? Buffalo wings? Nice. I like that. I could go for some wings. I feel silly for continuously reassuring myself that I'm not fazed by Iwanako writing to me when it's so obvious that I am. Make it be like a gradual thing for her. She might be too shy to call you up. I remember my girlfriend would always send me text messages because she was so shy. It was annoying as hell, man. I didn't really give a shit about phones, so I didn't have the thing. And it turns out I had to pay for every single one. But I don't like phones, so I couldn't call her back just to tell her to cut that out. I did it anyway, though. I called her out. I've used a phone. It was literally the call-out. I guess it was. Even if he's right, it means that Iwanako still wants to keep her distance from me. She's not ready to chat with me comfortably. Why? Am I some kind of freak? I'm not reassured by her actions anyway, in that case. Maybe I am overthinking it, but I just don't know. Kenji can't think of anything to say to that, and the silence that follows is so awkward and thick that I start to count the seconds till he makes up a reason to leave and excuses himself. I miss her. Your ex? Yeah. Even if she wasn't sane, it was nice being with her. That back hurts. And if she was still around, I could tell her to massage it. I don't know how to use an oven either. I miss baked food. Yeah, we would go bowling in the hallway sometimes. I miss that too. I had to bowl all by myself during that last festival. You bowl in the hallway? You're gonna hit someone. She used to say that all the time. Kenji sighs nostalgically, clearly not appreciating just how badly someone can get hurt by slipping on a bowling pin. Apparently, neither did his girlfriend, since she bowled with him. What a strange definition of love, but I guess it's something. Maybe you should write her a letter. If she writes back, you can get married. Married? No. No, 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 no. Okay, fine. But why not? You clearly like her, even though you hate women. Feminists. Not women, feminists. There's a difference. They're not feminist women. Damn, discrimination is incredible.
Correlation does not equal causation. Even if she's insane and a woman, doesn't mean she's a feminist insane woman. That's like how the absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence. If it's true, then by relative property, the presence of evidence does not equal the evidence of presence.
Actually, I think it is. And I don't think it's called the relative property.
No, shut up! It's mathematics! Are you saying math is wrong?
I think he is wrong. So even Kenji has someone that he likes. I'm tempted to ask why he and his ex broke up, or to dig for more information in general, but I shouldn't. Not only would it be prying, but he might reverse the question back to me. This conversation makes me think about Shizune, although the thoughts I'm having are scattered and wispy. Just questions. I wonder if I'd even had the chance to love Iwanako, and this whole situation with her still stings me, a sour note in the back of my mind. I like Shizune much more, yet it feels like I'm chasing her even now. I don't mind the chase, but I want to close that distance between us. Iwanako's letter is responsible, but I've also felt this way for a while. I've come closer, but it's not enough. I want to try again, right now. I tell Kenji to get out so I can change, then head for the student council room. So there we have it again. We got the letter from Iwanako again. This time, we just immediately think, no, she does not want to talk to us at all, ever again, kind of thing. And now, surprisingly, Kenji, of all people, is making us think differently. While what she does say that, it could also just kind of be a gradual thing. She's not comfortable talking with us, so she uses a much more, a different kind of method of communication. There isn't a phone number or an email. So she's giving us the option to send her a letter. So if we send a letter, she could potentially write back if she feels comfortable to maybe just build up a friendship again. They're never going to have a relationship again. That'll probably never happen. But it's just kind of one of those things. The gradual process. Oh, welcome back, Jen. I thought you would have been gone by now. Thought you had, can only lurk for a little bit before school. Oh, never mind. You said 12:30. I'm a dumbass. Oh, we got the letter. We got the letter from Iwanako in this route finally. And then Kenji showed up at the door. He read the letter and gave his thoughts on it. We also learned a little more about Kenji, how he had an ex-girlfriend, and despite saying how insane she was, he still misses her. So yeah, we actually had a decent heart-to-heart with Kenji, and then he went and ruined it the moment we said something. But he clarified that he does not hate women. He hates feminists. He specified that. No, he straight up specified. He does not hate women, he just hates feminists. No, because not all women are feminists. That's just his reasoning. Not all women are feminists. So, like, there can be an insane woman, but that doesn't mean they're an insane feminist woman. He wants a pick-me. Yeah, Kenji's terrible. Again, he's 4chan incarnate. This is like men who only respect women who agree with them. Oh, good God. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Kenji is Kenji. And we see him so much in this route. Like, oh my God. But for a while, he did have a girl. He did have a girlfriend who actually genuinely liked him. Kind of every route, he kind of brings up something about someone. There's also another character in this who usually brings up an ex. Hmm. No, actually, he was the one who dumped her. The specifics of why that is comes in a different route. But he was happy with her until one thing happened, and then it kind of brought him on the path he was on now. It wasn't brought up in Emmy's route. It's not brought up in Rin's route. It's actually brought up in the Goof route. The Kenji route. But there's enough hints throughout the route so far that you might be able to figure out who his ex might have been. Just based off of things he does. Some things that have been going on have been at least back. I think it was back in. Is it back in the Hanako or Emmy route? I can't remember which one exactly. But something he did specifically perturbed another person. And even when they found out who the person doing this stuff was, they wanted us to keep quiet about it. You know what? Fuck it. Again, this is just all. It's all just gonna be kind of there, but never actually said. But I'll just everything, all these things that have happened in the routes involving Kenji talking about an ex and this other person talking about their ex. It's subtly implied they were together at one point. The other person being Yuko the librarian. It is very, very heavily hinted that the two of them used to date. The librarian, the nervous one who also works at the tea house. Yeah. The implication was they used to date each other. And then something happened that made them go apart. Oh god, yeah, Yuko does deserve better. In fact, in beta routes, it was confirmed they were together, and at some point, I think maybe they would have gotten back together, or that's just fan fiction. That part might have just been fan fiction. But yeah, Kenji and Yuko used to be a thing. I think even at one point, Yuko mentions in one of the previous routes that her ex-boyfriend was actually a lot younger than she initially thought. Because again, Yuko's probably like in her 20s, trying to get into university, and Kenji is now in his final year of high school. So they clearly enjoyed their time together, but then something happened that made them split. Kenji still looks back on it fondly. And I think Yuko kind of does too. It's very strange. Also, just kind of a really unrelated thing of random connections with people. Straight from the writer of Emmy's route, Emmy's mom and the nurse are banging. That's also a thing. They're 100% banging each other. He said in Emmy's route he was at the track but had to leave early. Emmy's mom got a call saying she had to call from someone and she had to leave early. Yeah, that was supposed to be the nurse calling her, and they had a quickie. In fact, I guess another part of the whole route that they kind of left out was when you go to Emmy's house for the first time, he's supposed to be leaving and distracting you while her mom is busy getting dressed again. Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. Emmy's mom and nurse are a ship. Like a confirmed ship from the writers. Yeah. Anyway, after that tangent, let's continue on. The grounds are mostly deserted today, which is a shame because it's so nice out. No one answers when I knock. No one answers when I knock. I try to go in anyway, but it's locked. I pull my hand away from the doorknob. It's covered in dust. It's like no one's been here since we left. Since I'm already out here and dressed, I might as well get something to eat in town. My wallet's back in my room, though. Oh, Misha. On the way back there, I stumble across Misha, sitting down behind the main building. Her eyes are closed in sleep, and she looks very tranquil. It's always been hard to picture her not constantly bouncing around or hopping on the tips of her toes impatiently. Since I'm already out here and dressed is a mood, indeed it is. My first instinct is to call out to her and ask her if she's seen Shizune or if she wants to go to town with me. Now that I've seen her, I don't feel like disturbing her. I leave her alone. And yeah, Misha cut off her drills. For the first few days after I was back, I almost forgot that I was in the student council. I managed to pick up here and there. The student council usually gets swamped with work around the end of the break, but it didn't have to be the case. The few times I managed to catch Shizune or Misha, they were in too much of a hurry for me to get a chance to ask if they needed help. Anytime they weren't, I'd only be able to get a hold of Misha. Shizune would say something about how there was work, but it was so little that involving either Misha or I would only bore us. After a while, the idea of having some free time again had started to grow on me, though there were still periods where I felt like I had too much of it. Just when I was getting used to it, though, things changed again. I now find myself back in the student council room, arguing with Shizune about whether tissue boxes make good ballot boxes or not. I'm telling you, they work just fine as long as you get the cube-shaped ones, not the rectangular ones. Misha, can you sign that to her? I've got my hands full. On second thought, forget it. She's busy cutting out ballot slips, so if she were to make one errant movement, she would probably send those scissors flying into someone's head. I drop the box of poster paints I'm carrying on a little table in the student council room, and cough as a wave of dust hits me in the face. Well, he has been a while.
Do you think we should change the size of the ballot slips? What? But Shi-chan, I already cut out so many of them. We can make them smaller. It'll be more efficient. We just have to shrink the font. More ballots will fit into a single box that way. We'll only need half the amount of paper then. The format for voting could be changed. It could be more like a real election. Then we might be able to get away with buying less boxes. With the money left over, we can get a pizza, or maybe Chinese, or a cake, or 3 bowls of the new ramen bowl I want to try. Shizune excitedly rubs a finger along the frame of her glasses as she ponders more ways to cut even half a yen off our spending budget. Whatever. I know I read that wrong, but I got the point across. Since I think she's the only one who even knows what our budget is, I'm scared to ask just how tiny it is for her to have to do this. Well, it was enough in one of the last routes for them to be able to spend the rest of it on goddamn cake for the 2 of them. What about all the ballot slips Misha already cut out? Don't worry, don't worry. I can make them into memo pads and sell them in the school store. Shi-chan, they don't look very cute though. Shizune seems to disagree. Now they're arguing, and it looks like it consists of nothing more than signing yes they do and no they don't at each other, until they're so tired of it they take turns pointing at each other commandingly. It's strange, partly because it looks kind of ridiculous, but also because I've never seen them disagree. And again, both of them have looked very stressed these past few days. Shizune has been increasingly absorbed in the idea of student council elections, though they're months away. I imagine this is how politicians act when they realize a regime change is imminent and their era is over. I'm having trouble taking student council matters seriously at all, even now as I practice my calligraphy on signs that won't go up for weeks. But I can understand why Shizune does. After all, she's been student council president for 3 years. According to her dad, she has wanted the job for even longer. I guess 3 years is too short a career for her to leave feeling satisfied. Did the last student council go through this much trouble to make it a smooth transition for you? Shizune makes a chagrined face that tells me they weren't very helpful at all. I guess you're doing all this to set a good example then? That only comes into play if they learn anything from it, Hee-chan. If they don't, I'll be hyper mad. If they turn out to be the flaky type, I'll definitely be hard on them.
Doesn't sound very threatening when Misha's saying it. So you've already met them?
Hee-chan, there are no candidates yet.
What? None?
Not even for student council president. That is why I'm trying to drum up interest for the position. What do you think?
She proudly holds up a poster she's been working on herself. It looks very, military. You might be taking this a little too seriously then. Shizune frowns and plays with her glasses, offended.
Is that weird?
Yes. She looks oddly happy that I'm disagreeing with her. I think that if she weren't genuinely focused on what she was doing, she would try to argue with me just because it would be interesting to her.
What's weird about it?
Looks like she will do that after all. But then Shizune waves her hand dismissively, like she's trying to catch the words in the air and delete them. Instead, she catapults into insulting her future successors. Well, one thing that's weird is that my old school, the elections would happen in about 6 months, since, you know, we're graduating in March. It's pretty weird to think about them so early.
It's a little different here. Hee-chan, I'll be discouraged if we don't have any replacements when I have to go, Shi-chan says. But it isn't like the school will stop running without a student council. It'll be harder for them to hand out forms, though.
Shizune isn't laughing, however. Misha's joke causes her to flinch, as if she were stung. Though Misha didn't mean for it to come out that way, her quip had a callous cruelty to the end, in the end. Jesus.
I'm trying to get more people to run, but everyone is so lazy. They think they can take it easy just because there are no deadlines yet. Slackers, not taking the early game advantage. Still 6 months away. If they aren't making their move now, they don't deserve a vote. Do they really think it's an easy job? They can do they can do everything at the last minute and just coast into the role? Insulting! Really, really!
Hey Nichols, how's it going?
They're gonna be eaten alive once they have to sit at this tiny desk and see just how much work they have to do. If this were a real election, they would be in deep trouble. I was reading about Japanese campaigning laws the other day. Only the bad ones, for some reason.
For some reason. For a second, Shizune was talking like her father there, and it was coming out of Misha's mouth. Creepy. Well, first off, Shadow Shogun. Can't really make that call. They'll be elected. Second, it's just a school election. It's not like a running for city council or the diet. What the hell's the diet? I don't think Japanese campaigning laws apply. Third, although I don't want to say it, I'm nervous that Shizune is so enthusiastic about this, talking of elections and votes. Oh, it's like the parliament. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. According to her dad, she wasn't even elected herself. Come to think of it, I can't remember Shizune ever saying she was elected either. Then, did she get this position by being recruited into the student council and having it fall apart until she was the only one left? Somehow I'd never considered it. I don't know what to think about that, but it wouldn't surprise me. We're only 3 people strong now. If the circumstances behind her becoming the student council president were that sad, I wonder if there'll be a vote at all. Interest could just be that low, or non-existent, really. Then all our energy would be going towards nothing. I slap an exclamation mark on the end of the poster I'm working on. That's a little plain, so I think adding 1 is okay. Actually, I still think it might be a little too plain. I make the mark twice as large. I still say you need to slow down. If this stuff isn't going to be relevant for months, maybe you're working a little too hard on it. That's what I think. You're worrying too much. I don't think I know how to sign the word relevant. I try and only end up flicking a long line of pain where I didn't intend to. There's no way I can fix that. Misha, can you ask her that? Shizune giggles silently, clenching her teeth so that no sound comes out.
Because there is a lot to worry about.
Like what?
Like, usually the boxes end up looking very pretty, so people take them. Have to plan for that.
Insert wahaha here.
We should make them funny looking this time. Then so no one will take them. How about that, Shi-chan?
We can draw weird faces on them. Or put a little picture of Shizune on each one saying, "Stealing is wrong."
No. It's not funny. It's not the only problem either. There's voter turnout, of course. And then the worst case scenario would be not having any candidates.
Although it seems she meant it jokingly, and the way she smiles as she signs it, that isn't how it comes out. Even Misha understands the possibility is very real, and though she tries to salvage the mood by punctuating Shizune's statement with a laugh, it doesn't work.
What is wrong with both of you? I was just making a joke. There actually is some interest this year. If there wasn't, I wouldn't be doing all of this work. I'm not stupid. When the elections are over, I'll buy everyone dinner. I'm already planning it.
Even the new student council?
No, they can buy their own celebration dinner. It'll only be for the current student council. I'll be happy once I'm through having to do these thankless jobs all the time. A dinner just for us? Yay! It's like a little party, Shi-chan!
Though her cheerfulness is obviously forced, I say nothing. For the rest of the period, which fortunately isn't very long, we work in silence. After classes, I find the student council room locked. It's strange, because Shizune was so busy earlier that I would have expected her to continue working after school. It would be what she normally do. Be what she would normally do. Maybe she listened to my suggestion and decided to take a break. I'm hoping it's that simple. Feeling a little uneasy, I take a brief stroll around the school. It's only half conscious, and I can't remember when I started moving my feet, but I've already covered enough of the campus that I'm starting to feel tired. Not that that means anything now. Hey, Mass. Finished it? Cool. Just a short stroll around the school grounds, and I'm already winded. Really pathetic. Before I know it, I'm back in front of the student council office. There's someone else too this time.
Hi, Hee-chan!
It's locked. Seeing a can of lemonade in her hand, I reflexively start looking for a vending machine nearby. I'm so thirsty.
I know that, Hee-chan. Shi-chan's is somewhere else, I guess.
Weird.
We aren't stuck together, Hee-chan.
Misha takes a long drink from her lemonade, eventually just tipping it over and pouring the rest into her mouth. I feel like I'm being mocked.
Do you want one, Hee-chan?
No, it's okay. I can't take someone else's drink. It's rude. Besides, you're making fun of me, aren't you? I just saw you inhale all of that.
I have another one in my bag. I was prepared, see? See? I'm just like Shi-chan.
She's a little too prepared. It's good some of that is rubbing off on you anyway. After, what, 2 years? Insert wahaha here. The way she stares at me as I drink it is a little disconcerting, but I'm too grateful to care much about it. You and Shizune always end up treating me to something. It's starting to embarrass me.
Really, Hee-chan? Buy me lunch sometime then, okay? Then we'll be even.
Oh, it's funny you should say that. I was gonna ask if you wanted to eat in town.
Yeah! I'm really hungry today, Hee-chan. Thanks.
Yesterday. I was gonna ask her yesterday. Misha cuts me off before I can finish the sentence, and I can't find an opening to correct her as she dashes enthusiastically around me, laughing, her arms flapping excitedly at her sides. I already have my wallet with me, so I start walking towards town with Misha trailing behind me, playing idly with her hands and loudly wondering to herself where we should go to eat. At least I think so. She could be asking me. Do you have anywhere specific where you want it to go?
I want to go to the tea house. They have a really big parfait there.
I saw you eat a parfait there last time. It looked really big.
No, no, no! This one is really, really big. It's also really expensive.
Really, really expensive?
A little.
Jeez. Well, you and Shizune paid for my food a bunch of times, so it's fine.
He-chan? I don't think I ever did that. Are you sure it wasn't just She-chan?
Are you really arguing against a free meal? Don't worry about it. She is not a dateable character, unfortunately. We go to the Shanghai and are seated by a waitress who is surprisingly not Yuko. Misha is very eager to eat that parfait because she shouts her order as soon as she walks through the door. When it arrives, I can see that it is both very big and very expensive looking. Yeah, she doesn't exactly have... Yeah, she does not have a known disability. As far as you know, she is able-bodied, and she's only at this school to help her get used to, you know, sign language because she wants to teach it.
Aren't you gonna order anything, He-chan? If you're hungry, we can share.
Nah, I don't like parfaits. I don't like pralin.
You can pick it out.
Can't just pick out pralin. Don't be silly. Even if I could, Misha is mashing her food together to the point where it is no longer possible. It also looks kind of gross. I wonder if that many flavors can even blend together well. Can she really taste anything in that goop? She's acting like it's delicious anyway.
Parfaits are the best. I have sensitive teeth, so ice cream is a no-no. Cake is too soft, though, and if there's too much icing, I get bored. Parfait is interesting. How many cafes have parfaits here? I think 10. I've tried them all. I like this one the best. It has a little flan.
Jesus, what kind of inflection am I giving her right now? You sound like you're some kind of dessert expert.
Not just dessert. I want to eat all kinds of delicious things. Someday, I'll have enough money to buy a 2-kilogram Matsusaka beefsteak.
Same, Misha, same. I mean, I enjoy food. I enjoy food a lot. That's like over 100,000 yen. I guess this kind of decadent food is kind of your hobby then, huh? A $1,000 steak? Oh my god, I would think twice about even paying like $100 for a steak, because that's a lot of money. I even feel kind of iffy spending 50. What the hell? What kind of place has a $1,000 steak? Better be a damn good fucking steak then. Better come with like 3 sides too. It better not be $1,000 for just a hunk of meat. Gourmet food is a wild ride, dude. Okay, well then keep it the fuck away from me. I don't want to be spending a crap ton of money for something super tiny. The hobby isn't something that should take months to learn about someone. I've been very rude in retrospect. Also, that is one pricey hobby.
I guess so. Decadent?
Yeah. Misha giggles, raising her hand to her face. It looks like some ice cream accidentally got on her nose. She doesn't notice it. I can't stop noticing it. I wish she would wipe it off. I'm about to tell her about it, but she suddenly says, I've been rude. Let's just judge her instead. It's like, this is one of the people you've been around for months on end, and only now is he learning things about her. Like her hobbies.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, I guess that's a bad word anyway. It has implications. Epicurean is better. It means someone who enjoys eating nice food. That's the adjective, though. So, epicure's the word for it. Insert wahaha here.
He-chan, you're too wordy.
Sorry.
I think that is what She-chan likes about you.
Because I'm wordy? I need to buy some thesauruses then. Insert wahaha here.
No, not like that, He-chan.
I decided to order some coffee after all, but it takes a while to get the waitress to notice, and I think actually getting my coffee will take about as long. The tea shop is filling up. No surprise, as we've already been here for almost an hour while she was chipping at the dessert. I ordered my coffee to go, but Misha orders one as well, so it seems we're going to be here longer than I thought. I really wish it was that easy. It's hard to talk to her lately.
She-chan's been busy because of the elections.
I know we can't have fun all the time. It's just there's a lot I want to say to her, I think. I always screw up when the time comes, though. And I don't even have the time now. Because of the elections. They're not for a while, though.
He-chan, do you think that She-chan is avoiding you?
Misha sounds angry. That's to be expected, but I don't feel that way at all. No.
Is that so?
The dreamy way in which she says it makes me think that Misha's disappointed with my answer. In that case, it could be how she feels. I'm uneasy asking such a question, but I trust Misha would answer it honestly. Otherwise, I wouldn't even dream of it. Do you?
No, of course not, He-chan. But it's frustrating sometimes. She-chan has so much energy and is always trying to make people feel as excited about things as she is. But it's like She-chan doesn't know how to handle things when everyone gets really hyped up. Or I think that she wants to make sure nothing goes wrong. When I want to help out, She-chan always pushes me away. It's frustrating. I'm just overthinking it, probably. Right?
Misha takes a big gulp from her cup of coffee, then sticks her tongue out.
Ow! Hot, hot, hot! I thought it would have cooled down by now.
Has it really been that long? I checked my watch. It hasn't been very long at all, but looking outside, the sun is already starting to set. Not really. Huh, it got dark out pretty quickly today. Though I could understand why you might think that. Okay, Jen. You have a good rest of your day. Thanks for stopping by. At my words, Misha looks outside and yawns almost immediately. She looks sleepy. That's funny because... Are you sleepy? You were wide awake like just 2 seconds ago.
I feel tired when it gets dark, He-chan.
Just like that? Are you a bird? I pick up my own coffee and have a sip. It's not very hot at all, but very tasty. I downed it as quickly as possible because now I want to get back to my dorm room as well. Misha tries to emulate me, but it's still too hot for her. While I wait for her to finish, I start to wonder what she meant back then about Shizune liking something about me. Suddenly I'm very curious, but dragging that back up now feels like an unnecessary action. I try to weigh the option again, but I'm interrupted by Misha slamming her empty cardboard cup down on the table with a loud pop.
Done!
She lets out a short laugh, seemingly very pleased with herself. Kinda like a toddler. I wonder if she had the drill-shaped haircut when she was little too. Or was it something more like her current look? Yeah, it would make more sense. Guess we should head back then. I can't see the waitress. Try not to fall asleep while I pay for the sundae, okay?
Not a sundae, it's a parfait, He-chan.
Insert wahaha here. You have ice cream on your nose. What a random thing to end that on. You have ice cream on your nose. Yeah. I want to see where I'm at right now story-wise. Acute triangle. I want to see how far we are, because I think I'm nearing the end of Act 3. And if I am, I'm just going to keep going. I've actually got a fair bit still ahead. Let me see, how long could this potentially be? Oh my god. Yeah, no, there's a bit too much for me to want to keep going. I thought if it was maybe 1 or 2 scenes, but no, it's a lot, and they're long scenes too. So I'll save that there for now. Okay. Yeah, that's about as much of that as I can take for today right now, especially with being hungry. Because of course I'm hungry. When am I not? Okay. Tomorrow... What do I have planned for tomorrow? Tomorrow at 12 o'clock, I'll be doing my normal, what's it called? My normal Stardew stream. I might cut it a little short, though. Because tomorrow is also, yeah, tomorrow was also Nickel's charity stream. So I'll go for a bit, and then I'm going to hop right into that. So, yeah. So hopefully I can bring a bunch of people into that. If not, oh well, at least I'll still be there. So yeah, Nichols the name, good old friend of mine and friend of the channel, is doing a charity stream that's going for 12 hours. She's got a whole bunch of goals set up and ready for how many donations she gets overall, and then what donations do come in. Some fun stuff with some goals being things like... Some things being like writing your name on her body, streaming Dark Souls until she finally finishes it. Whole bunch of fun, crazy stuff like that. One goal I really hope she manages to reach, though, is her drinking Ghost Pepper beer. That's going to be interesting. Or is it Reaper? Whatever, Carolina Reaper. She's like, it's a beer made with a goddamn hot-ass pepper. I want to see her drink that. I want to see her reaction to that. Yeah, it's... Tomorrow's going to be interesting for her. There's no one Okay, so yeah, my normal 12 o'clock is Stardew Valley. What time is your charity stream starting again, Nichols? I cannot remember off the top of my head. I feel like it's either 10 or 12. Okay, starts at 10, then ends at 10. Okay, cool, cool. Alright, yep. So, yep, her charity stream tomorrow starts at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so if you want to check it out, go ahead. Donations would be very, very appreciated, since it is a charity stream. And if you want to see her do some certain fun things, well, donations are even more, you know, wanted. Small amount of people. Is there anyone we could send us over to? I know there's not a lot of us, but didn't really raid anyone yesterday. So if there's anyone you or Aqua have got that we could potentially raid, drop them down, and I'll throw you all that way. Because, I mean, if you're going to be watching them anyway, yeah, might as well. Because as it stands, I've got nobody that I could send anyone off to. Oh, Hylian's doing a speedrun? Speedrun of RE3? Okay, let's just see. Okay, yeah. You know what? Why not? Yeah, we'll send everyone over to Hylian. Alright, it's /raid. Not exclamation raid. Okay. Alright. We're gonna send everyone over to Hylian then, maybe. Come on. Oh yeah, it won't let me raid until the thing goes. Alright, yep. So, we're gonna send everyone over to Hylian. Enjoy some Resident Evil speedrunning. I hope everyone has a good rest of their day. I'll see y'all next time.